Thank you. So what I would do, I think I would do is just share the meeting notes that I've been taking. Is that visible?
Yes.
Yep.
Great. So yeah, so we're on to meeting 5, and we had some notes in the previous meeting 2 weeks ago. And I thought what I jotted down as a possible agenda item for today was a bit of a checkpoint around where we think we're at, maybe setting ourselves some deadlines, some timelines to work to, and maybe just having a slightly kind of step back chat about progress, what's the most useful next steps, how long do we think it's going to be useful to continue having meetings, and whether or not there's a point that we are going to be able to potentially work a bit more async on a PR that would end up with the TAC. So yeah, just I thought maybe today. I'm very happy if others, Rye, Jessica, if you've got thoughts as to specific things you thought would be useful to cover. But I thought I might start the meeting with that as a kind of a starter for 10. What are your thoughts?
Sounds good.
Yep, that sounds good to me too.
Great. So I guess first of all, maybe it's just worth just chatting through where we're at. We have another document which I will just grab. Okay. I think I've just shared the window, but I think you can see this second tab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this kind of working document of areas of consistency. We know we've talked a lot about things which are covered elsewhere, and I thought one way of moving along partly would be to set ourselves a kind of a deadline, because I think that's always a good way of forcing yourself to make a bit of action. And secondly, maybe I would be happy offline of the calls to maybe start a PR, which allows everyone who's been in this group to start adding to that and commenting on that. Does anyone have thoughts around, well, we just haven't covered X, Y, or Z that you were kind of thinking we might cover through this working group?
Not really. I think, I mean, I'm sorry, I have to use the right verbs. I feel that we've covered a lot. And I also feel as soon as the PR exists, the wider community will probably have more to say. So
Yes.
they will, the three or four of us like batting around a PR, that's fine. But once we, get to the meat of the issue and open it up for kibitzing, I think it'll go well. I think it will accelerate the progress.
I think it will. Yeah.
I think I wish we had more traction on this meeting, to be quite honest. I wish there would have been more other people attending as well. But I guess if we create a PR and people need to discuss, we can always revive the meeting and discuss in the meeting any PR that needs to be in depth reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, more voices I think would be useful in making sure we're not missing things. I think it's also just worth remembering that we're not trying to fix every single thing here, and that there'll be other working groups and other changes to process in the future. So we don't need to continue until we feel like we've perfected everything. And in terms of some timelines, I don't know, Rai, you may have more of a view on this than Jessica and myself, but obviously it feels like we're early October now. TAC nominations are coming up, and so
Mhm.
be nice maybe to not be overlapping with that process too much as we kind of slightly close out this working group in the coming weeks and months. Um, if we aimed to have something in front of the TAC on an agenda this time next month, how does that feel to you both?
I think it will be, are you saying to get the PR up to the TAC at that point?
I guess that was my starting point in that would give us as a group a month of a bit of async discussion working towards a PR. And in that time, I think we could either open it out to the wider TAC, or we could concentrate on trying to make it a PR that we think when we bring it to the TAC, there'll be some more tweaks and suggestions, comments than anything else. So that was my feeling. But yeah, just a starting point, really.
Yeah, I think what I would do is, I mean, I agree. I think the thing to do would be to, I mean, you have the PR is in progress, right? Sort of.
That is a good question. I don't know if yes, you're right. This is a PR. Well, there's a branch.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that, you know, there's no cost in opening up a draft PR and then socializing that as soon as we can with the members of the TAC. But, and I just mean socializing it in terms of like mentioning it on Discord. Hey, this is what we're thinking. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I
so
think that's good.
since we already have it on a branch, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the issue I have is I think I need to do a bit of thinking offline as to um what the shape of this is going to look like when it's out for a slightly broader review. And I think we can certainly discuss that on the call today. I think I personally I find it a little easier to have having done some brainstorming discussions to then try and write down on paper where I think we're at as a standalone PR to then get people to take a look.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's the, we're not going to solve everything today. We're not going to solve everything in the next month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if we wanted to socialize the PR and just say, you know, we would like to bring this to the TAC and discuss it, whatever, at the first meeting in November, whenever that would be.
Yeah.
I think that would be completely reasonable.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good aim. I think it's good to set ourselves a deadline.
Yeah.
I think that always helps. So I guess um, I guess with that in mind, are there things that we think it'd be valuable to discuss on the call today, or is it useful if I take some time offline of the call ahead of the next one to try and bring the next call to the point of, well, here's an initial draft PR and we hammer, hash it out a little bit.
It's your call, Jessica. I'm leaning towards, since you've done the most editing, I'm leaning towards that. But I also don't want to put all of the work on you. But on the third hand, it's you're the TAC rep. So, and you know, this is, yeah, I'm open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open to what you want, Matthew. Um, and yeah, likewise, I I don't want to make you feel like you're having everything on your shoulders, but yeah, I think the PR having the PRs will be creating better traction at this point. And if you want us to contribute to that, you can just let us know.
Yeah, thank you both. Yeah, I think I certainly think yeah, I'm hoping now there isn't a huge amount of standalone work for me to go off and do my own, other than kind of bringing our thoughts together in one place and trying to have a starting point for our group to then take a first look at. And I think at this point, from past experience of some of the projects a bit like this, I think you get to a point where actually it's easier to do that first step totally on your own in a room with a coffee, where you kind of hack things about as you see fit, and then hand it over to the rest of the group to and stand back a bit and let them do it. So I think I'm certainly happy with doing that initial part, and trying to come up with something that I feel is a good start as a useful contribution to the LFDT's kind of guidelines. And it feels like, having had we've had a bunch of these meetings, and we've had a number of different people with different voices. It feels like that has given a reasonable amount of opportunity for some of the more brainstorming or open discussions, chatting through things a bit more. So I feel like we've all had an opportunity to kind of raise things that we think apply here, or raise thoughts or questions or ideas. So I think personally now it might feel like it's probably not a huge job for me to do a bit of that on my own and try and bring some of those thoughts together, and then send it around to the wider audience.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, well, I think then, with that in mind, perhaps this call is a short one. Like I said in the agenda, I did really want to use it as a forcing kind of point to decide next steps, as much as to actually make progress on consistency specific issues. So I think certainly that served a really valuable purpose for me. I will get the opportunity to run some of that by Enrique in person, just because of where we work. So he has awareness of that. But yeah, that seems like a reasonable way forward, if that works for everyone else.
Works for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you both for joining today, especially, I think, Jessica, it's early for you, is it?
Oh, it's the same time for Ryan and I.
Yeah.
Oh,
7.
okay. Okay. Well, in that case, thank you both for joining quite early.
No worries. Thank
right.
you.
And I will circulate something, I hope, in advance of the next call.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Matthew.
Have
Have
a
a
good
good day.
weekend.